Wisconsin. This is our annual meeting, and we have a relatively brief agenda. Rebecca will be providing her annual report, and then we will be conducting elections for some board members. And that's what the agenda provides. So we must begin by approving the agenda. Does anyone want to make a motion to do that?
So moved.
I second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the motion carries. So I will turn to Rebecca to provide her annual report on the state of worker justice, Wisconsin.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here today. I am going to just present it through a PowerPoint because I figure you would like to look at images more than just listen to me talk. I'll try to keep it brief, but don't hesitate to interrupt me and ask questions. I want to say that our staff are all here as well, and they can also answer questions directly. So let me share my screen. And, oops, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to pull up the PowerPoint. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, here we go. I can't really see you, so if you have a comment or you have a question, just speak up because I will not, as I said, be able to see you otherwise. Or yeah. All right. So let's do this. All right. So first of all, our annual report is already posted on our website. So if you go to our website and you go to About, and just click on that drop-down menu, it'll take you right to the annual reports. So I'm just giving you a very brief overview, brushstrokes, and so on. So you can get a lot more detail by going there and seeing the annual report. So as you know, our mission is Worker Justice Wisconsin advances justice in our community by building collective worker power together with faith and labor allies. This is our WJW staff for 2022. So upper left-hand corner, Socorro Cortez, she's one of our organizers. The next person is me. The next person is Robert Crystal, Program Director, also here on this call. Next, you have Katrina Woods, our Business Manager, who is on this call as well. Then you look at the bottom left corner, that's Kaylee Judd, and she actually has left now. And I'll talk about who is replacing her and doing a few other things moving into 2023. And then the last person you see here is Frida Ballard, who is also one of our organizers, also here today. The person that I don't have pictured here is Gretchen Baumgart, who we contracted to do our faith outreach. I'll be talking about Gretchen later. Gretchen is also on this call and can answer any questions you may have. Okay, so just a brief overview. In 2022, we moved offices. So we were strictly in room 115. Everybody was sort of crammed in there. In February, we moved into room 116. And there's a great big space there and a couple offices off to the right there. So you can see pictures. Room 116 is our office space. Room 150 now is our classroom and organizing space. So you have here an idea of what it looks like. Thanks to Sarah Solomon, who was our business manager and now is our board treasurer, for arranging that move. It was a really seamless move in February, and we've been very happy. Julio, I think your speaker is, there you go, okay. Let's see. Now, oh, actually, let me go back to staff just to say that last year we hired Robert, Katrina, and Frida. So that was a really great, those were really great additions to the staff. Also, another big thing is that Socorro and I went from part-time to full-time last year, and Robert was hired full-time. Okay. Now, about the worker center, many things. One of the things that we focused on a great deal was expanding our trainings. So we used to have a Know Your Rights training. It was a one-parter. Now we have a three-part training instead, or in addition to, I should say. And it is focused on collective worker organizing, not just what it is, but how to do it. In the first training, we talk about how to talk to your coworkers, for example. In the next training, it's mapping your workplace and other things. And then in the third one is knowing your rights as a worker. In each of these, there's practical, it's a practical experience of how to do it. So there's a lot of practice. And I show you this just because you can see the trainings are available in English, Spanish, and Mandarin. The primary language that we provide the training in is in Spanish. Our worker membership program has also grown a great deal in the last year. We started the year with 1 worker member, and we closed out 2022 with 45 worker members. We have monthly worker membership meetings, and anybody's welcome to attend, whether they're a member or not. In fact, that's a place where a lot of people do become members. Socorro has been in charge of that program and has done a really good job. The biggest meeting of the year was the Posadas holiday party, which was on December 15th, which was co-sponsored by the South Central Federation of Labor, the Carpenters and Painters Union, and we had about 100 people there. It was a really fun event with piñatas for the kids and a place to talk about what campaigns we want to do in the following year. The one that we talked about the most and the workers voted on was one that targeted exploitative businesses that just do things like wage theft, you know, just over and over and over again. So I talk more about that in the annual report, and you can also ask our Worker Center staff about it if you would like. They're here. Another big and really important piece of what we've been doing in the last year is really focusing more and more on worker organizing. We've already talked about how we shifted from individual service to collective worker organizing. And with the hiring of Robert, Frida, putting Socorro full-time, we were able to focus a lot more on actual campaigns. There were 2 campaigns that went sort of from start and developed quite a lot. And that is the Clarion Hotel organizing campaign and the Crushing It apparel campaign. The Clarion workers, as many of you know, ended with a $2 per hour raise for everybody across the board, 3 additional floating holidays, and a 12-room cap for the cleaning crew. The Crushing It campaign has been more difficult because the owner was and has been difficult and retaliatory from the start. But the good news is that the workers voted in a union toward the end of the year. That's the Painters Union, IUPAT 7. And they continue to try to get to the bargaining table. The second thing is that a small group of them have decided that they want to form a cooperative, and they're working with a cooperative in Milwaukee to open on a screen printing shop here in Madison. Again, I would encourage you to ask questions of the Worker Center staff for more details. Another really important piece of worker empowerment is our worker cooperative incubation program, which we initiated last year. We've been working on cooperatives for quite some time, particularly with MCDC, that is the Madison Cooperative Development Coalition. And we decided last year to do more than just educate and try to get cooperatives started, but rather we would be incubating, which means really helping or actually accompanying cooperatives from start to finish. And you can see here a couple different graphics. One is just what is a cooperative, or the 7 principles of cooperatives. And the second is the way we envision the incubation process. As you can see at the beginning, Worker Justice Wisconsin is very involved. And the more the cooperative develops, the more they take over and the less we do. So we have started that process with 3 cooperatives. One was a bakery, one a food cart, and the third one, the screen printing shop that I already mentioned. The baking cooperative, though they got the $10,000 grant from MCDC, has since decided that they want to proceed not as a cooperative. But the other 2 continue and are going strong. So some data from 2022. In 2022, the Worker Center provided the worker organizing training to 107 workers and 28 service providers. We opened a total of 216 new cases, organized 2 workplaces, started incubating 3 cooperatives, provided the training, the cooperative training to 33 workers, and recovered or helped recover $121,560.11 in previously owed but unpaid wages. Of the Worker Center cases, 42% were wage and hour, 13% were discrimination, 13% had to do with collective worker organizing and filing NLRB complaints, particularly with the Crush In It campaign. There has been a lot of that had to happen. 11% were health and safety and or workers' comp. 2% had to do with unemployment, and 19% other. I suspect several of those had to do with discrimination and workplace safety. But we're in the process of shifting how we collect this data. So that is why that other number is a bit large. In terms of demographics, these are just some of the highlights. Of the people who opened cases with us, 52% were female, 92% were immigrant workers, and of those, 91% were Latinx. So you can see the demographics are fairly similar to what they have been in the last year. Okay, before I move on to faith engagement, are there any questions about the Worker Center? Give me 1 minute because I'm getting phone calls from people who want to join the call and I think they're having difficulties. So just give me 1 second. Hi. Robert,
Yeah,
do you mind sending this, the link to the meeting to Jesse or Steve from Smart 565 and Kevin Gunla? Because they're trying to get in and they
I-
can't.
I was in.
Oh, okay, they're in.
they're in? Okay.
I was able to get in. I don't think Jesse can get in.
Oh, okay.
I'm in.
Okay, Jesse also got in. Okay,
So
Never
just
mind.
Kevin?
okay,
I think we hung up on Kevin.
okay, sounds good.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Okay, bye. Okay, very good. I'm glad everybody's in. Okay, are there any questions regarding the Worker Center? Otherwise, I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to faith community engagement. Okay, then in terms of faith community engagement, as I mentioned before, we were fortunate to contract Gretchen Baumgart of Be Blessed Wellness to help us with a faith engagement piece during 2022. And there were two major things that we accomplished that I want to mention. First of all, Labor in the Pulpits was really a big success. Gretchen put together a 10-page toolkit that was very accessible to congregations. We got really good feedback about it. And if you want to see it, it is on our website under Faith Engagement. We had 21 congregations participate in Labor in the Pulpits. As far as we know, we made the toolkit widely available, so there may have been some participants we were not aware of. And we got 7 speaker requests. So it was really great. We raised over $2,000 through faith, through the Labor in the Pulpits on the Bima in the Mimbar program. And we continue to work on expanding that program. Another big thing that Gretchen has been working on is the study guide, the Worker Justice Study Guide. And this is for the Wisconsin Council of Churches. We will be publishing it on our website as well as on their website. Right now, we have 2 congregations piloting the program. I just gave you that second image. You have the table of contents for that training, or excuse me, for the worker organizing workshop that Gretchen developed. And we hope to publish it later this year, or we will be publishing it later this year. Turning now to financial sustainability. Again, there is more information in the annual report, but you that in terms of assets and income, that amounted to almost $360,000 in 2022. Our expenses were about $318,000 for 2022. And that means that we walked into 2023 with about $42,000 in assets. Things are looking good for this year as well. So I don't really need to go too much into detail here, but I just wanted you to see that we are in good shape as we came into 2023. In terms of community partnerships, it was a very good year. I included here pictures of some of the community partnerships that we engaged in during 2022. The left-hand picture, this was the Crushing It workers. And as I said, they elected to become members of IUPAT 7. And so in that picture, it's kind of small, but you can see Adam Gifford of that union standing with the organized, with the Crushing It workers. Yes.
So I think Natalie has a hand up, and it might be because we're still on the faith engagement slide.
Yes.
Great. Okay, let me stop share and start again. Okay. Now can you see it? Thank you, Natalie. Okay, so there on the left, you see Adam Gifford of IUPAT 7. The middle picture is one of our membership meetings, and you see Kevin Gunlock of the South Central Federation of Labor standing there with the workers. He's towering over everybody, so you can't miss him. And speaking of towering over everybody, you have on the right-hand side, Polo Duran of the Carpenters Union with a few of us during one of their actions earlier in the year. So these are organizations that we worked with quite a bit during 2022 and will continue to do so in 2023. We also want to mention the Wisconsin Council of Churches. I've already mentioned them. Also the Latino Academy, Sustain Dane. We have the Wisconsin, we are co-partners or co-lead the Dignity of Work Coalition with Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice. We did a lot with the Catholic Multicultural Center, Just Dane, and these are just some of the organizations that we have partnered with, and we're stronger for it. The work that we're doing, we are small and scrappy organization, and without these partnerships, we would not be able to accomplish nearly as much we do. Another thing that I want to mention in terms of partnerships, did it move to the next slide, Natalie? Yes, great. Is Core Justice. So this is something that we formed along with several trade unions. The Building Trades Council of South Central Wisconsin and the School for Workers has also been involved. We formed this during this summer, and it has been a very fruitful organization thus far, and I think we will be able to do a lot together. So the purpose of the Construction Council on Racial and Economic Justice, hence Core Justice, is to eliminate subcontractors' practice of misclassifying workers as contractors in southern Wisconsin. The reason it focuses on racial and economic justice is because this practice of misclassifying workers is targeting, they are targeting specifically immigrant Latinx workers to basically say, instead of calling them employees and paying proper salaries and benefits along with, covering them through their workers' comp and covering the taxes, they say you're a contractor and now go find some friends and we will pay you and then you can pay them. But the fact is, in reality, they are employees, and it is not only bad in terms of they're not paying taxes properly, they're not paying workers' comp properly. It's also bad because it creates really unsafe working conditions, and it leads to a lot of wage theft, which is how we end up seeing these cases over and over and over again. So with these trade unions and other partners, we came together and we said, no, we're going to tackle this problem. And we decided that the arm of the organization would be Worker Justice Wisconsin, that we would be hiring a construction organizer who could really go out and organize these places, some of these places of work, because the problem is rampant in the construction industry. And together we would come at it from many different angles. Another important partner I should mention is a construction business group when we tackle this issue. And they've been great partners in previous years as well, last year, and will be in the future. So thanks to the yearly commitment by the North Central States Regional Council of Carpenters, Painters District Council 7, and Roofers Local 11, essentially a yearly financial commitment, we will be hire a construction worker organizer in 2023 to tackle this problem of misclassification. And on the right there, you see just a little post for our construction organizer position that is still currently open. If you know anyone that would qualify for this job, please send them our way. The most important thing is that they be fluent in Spanish and English, and that they have familiarity with the construction industry and or the labor movement. If they have that, we can train them to do this work. So I just gave you the highlights for 2022. Let me just tell you a little bit as we go into 2023. We will be having the Faith Labor Breakfast again, yay. We haven't been able to do that since 2020 because of the pandemic. The date right now, the most likely date is May 4th. We hope to be sending out a save the date next week, but please plan on attending. We're going to highlight our programs and bring some speakers from out of town to really highlight what is going on more broadly as it relates to Worker Justice Wisconsin, and in particular, the work in the construction industry. This year, we will be providing more trainings than last year. You know that we gave about 140 trainings, or we trained about 140 people last year. This year, that number is already higher. So we've already trained 159 people, and we're in the 1st of March. The reason for that is because of a lot of the groundwork that was done last year of community outreach. So we've done a lot of community outreach. We've signed some contracts with Just Dane, and we're also going to be working with the Latino Academy to provide these trainings through their organizations. We also will be providing regular trainings at the Catholic Multicultural Center, as well as in some churches and other community spaces. So just to say, we expect to be able to train at least 250 people this year because of the legwork that was done last year and continues to be done this year. Another big thing to mention for 2023 is that in our organizing, we are going to be focusing in particular on two industries: the construction industry, which I've already talked about, and the hospitality industry. You know that last year we helped organize the Clarion workers, and in that process, we just came to understand the depth of the problems that exist in that industry. And so we wanted to really tackle that. We're going to be working with Workers United to work on that industry. Both of these, construction and hospitality, target Latinx immigrant workers through their exploitative practices. And so really we want to be able to make a dent in these industries. Another area that we're going to focus on a lot is the cooperative incubation program. I've already talked about why we're doing it. And if we are serious, and we are, about strengthening working class immigrant workers, then this is a place where we really feel strongly we can make a dent. Now, just a couple more things to mention. I mentioned that Kaylee Judd is no longer in our staff. She was doing a lot of our outreach, a lot of our marketing, or rather our communications. So we've decided to contract Hone Marketing, who is going to be doing, or has already started, I should say, doing not only our communications, but also helping us with fundraising, which we badly need, and also helping us with our database, just cleaning that up a bit and making sure it's clean moving into the years ahead. So we're really excited to be working with Hone Marketing this year. We also will be hiring 2 new positions. You know about the construction organizer. We also want to hire a faith organizer. Gretchen Baumgart, though she has done great work, will not be staying with us. She's still with us, but she will not be staying much beyond March 6th, because she has taken another position that will be taking a lot more of her time. So we're just grateful for what she has done for us. And now we are looking for a faith organizer. That position should be out no later than early next week, hopefully even later this week. So spread the word, please. So I'm going to end just with a few pitches on how you can get involved. If you are an organization, you can sponsor Worker Justice Wisconsin by donating $500 or more. I already mentioned several unions that are sponsors. I will also mention Smart 565, who is a sponsor here in 2023, and hopefully for several years to come. You can also, if you're an individual, become a recurring donor. Now, many of you donate on a regular basis, but if you become a recurring donor, that's money that we can put on our budget securely, knowing that we're going to have those funds as we go into the year. We scrap for every dollar. And so I encourage you to please become a sustaining donor if you can. Sustaining donors make for a sustainable organization. It is really true. And it brings also me a lot of peace of mind, and our board, as we make sure that we have to be financially sustainable going into the next year. Also, ask your workplace to participate in workplace giving. And there is a workplace giving program with Worker Justice Wisconsin. If you're interested, just write me an email. It's Rebecca, @workerjustice.org. So that's Rebecca@workerjustice.org. And I'll be happy to share with you how to do it. And finally, as I mentioned, we're going to be having our Faith Labor Breakfast. So please attend our Faith Labor Breakfast this spring and see how else you can get involved. I'd like to see a good big crowd there, just to get excited about all the many exciting things going on. With that, I will stop sharing. And I open it up to any questions you may have. I actually, now that I'm looking, I just want to see, I see Eva is here, and Eva Petrova and Bowen Chow are 2 of our dedicated volunteers that have been a great help in this last year in getting some of these materials out there, doing research on the industries that we're looking to organize, and for Bowen also translating the materials into Mandarin.
Rebecca, everybody. I just wanted to say how great a job Worker Justice has been doing. We've got a great partnership with you, And I was curious, have there been any responses to the RFP, or I guess the request for employment for the position, for the organizer position that was opened up? Have you heard any response?
I'm going to defer to Robert for this response. Thank you, Adam, by the way. You're great partners too. Thank
Yeah,
you.
hi, Adam. Yeah, so we have had some interest. I mean, we've gotten, I would say, maybe between 10 and 15 applicants. Of course, a lot of them don't speak Spanish, and so that has been sort of an immediate disqualifier. But we did interview one person, but we decided not to move forward. We have another potentially really interesting candidate lined up for next week that we'll be starting the interviews with, who does speak Spanish. And I know, we sort of are going to do another push for the position. I think Frida Socorro and I are going to the Latino Carpenters meeting. Today I swung by Mercado Marimar. So we are still pushing and just trying to find candidates. They are coming in, but being able to speak Spanish and have some familiarity with construction and or social justice, we're looking for a star player, because we're going to need it.
It's a unicorn, right?
Are there any other questions? You can hear from our other staff if you'd like. Frida's been working really hard on the cooperatives as well as construction worker organizing as we await this new person coming in. Socorro's working hard on the membership and community building, among many other things. And yeah, Robert's been the one primarily working on the hospitality organizing.
Well, if there are no further questions or discussion, we can just move on to the business part of our meeting, and that is the election of the board members whose terms have expired in 2023. What we have is the Scuffle has the right under our bylaws to nominate 2 members of the board. They have nominated Stephen McDonald, who is an organizer for Smart Local 565. So he is on the ballot. We also have 3 board members whose terms are expiring and who are seeking re-election. One is Charity Schmidt, our vice president. The second is Natalie Gerloff, the secretary. And the third is Jeff Mehrhoff, who's a board member. And Adam Gifford is kind of an alternate who is here tonight on Jeff's behalf. So this can be a very kind of straightforward motion here. I think we can just do, if someone can make a single motion that to adopt the proposed new board members, Steve, as well as to re-elect the 3 current board members. I think we can handle that in one motion. So does someone want to make a motion regarding these board members?
I'll
I
make that
believe-
motion.
Go ahead.
A second?
Second.
I second.
Is there any discussion or questions that people have of these candidates? Hearing none, all in favor of these candidates for the Worker Justice
Mary,
Wisconsin Board?
I think Mary has a question.
Kurt.
Oh, okay,
Kurt, I'm sorry, it took me a while to get in.
okay.
Do you know the motivation of why these persons want to do this work?
I guess we'd have to ask them. They're all here, but certainly with Steve, we look forward to working with him. He is a relatively new organizer for Smart Local 565. That's one of our important partners. Charity has been on the board for a while, Natalie, as well as Jeff. So if you have questions, or if any of these people just want to speak and say something about why they want to be in a board, now would be the time to do that.
I would just add that the firm that I'm with, Hawks Quindell, has had a member on the board for even longer than I've been here. And our firm's mission very much aligns with worker justice in terms of perpetuating the labor movement. And so I'm proud to be a part of Hawks Quindell, as well as represent Hawks Quindell on the worker justice board.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah, and Hawks Quindell has been a great partner, and it's someone that we work with, or an organization we work with quite closely, as you might imagine, with many of our cases. So
I'll say a quick
Is there
couple of
any
words, Mary. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, is there any particular questions that anyone wants to ask me? Or,
No,
okay.
well, Steve, you could answer why you want to be on this board. Why would you? Yeah.
Well, and I feel like everyone that's on the screen has to have obviously has a passion for wanting to help people. And that is my main premise is, sorry, my daughter's calling me. My main purpose for wanting to be on the board is just to help people even more so. I feel like people in lower economic situations are taken advantage of way too much. Were used as stepping stones and disregarded. And I feel empowered within the organization of Local 565 as we constantly try to uplift, give livable wages, and help in many different ways in the local and outside. And this is another way for me to do that outside of the local, and just add my voice and my presence, and also be on the receiving end and make me even more rounded person in a simple form.
thank you.
Thanks.
Charity, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been involved, Mary, with this board since it was just the Workers' Rights Center, and then remerged with Interfaith Coalition for Worker Justice. Was that it? ICWJ. And it's always just felt like really important work to me. I've also been a union organizer, but I feel like being in a position to support the organizing for workers who are non-unionized and are struggling in those ways. And then I moved into cooperative development to support workers organizing into worker-owned businesses. And so I've just really always stuck with this organization that has just like super progressed, I've seen over the years, as a way to support workers empowering themselves, organizing themselves with the support of organizations like Worker Justice Wisconsin, to make their lives better. So, and our community.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking, Mary.
I think
Any
Adam
further-
raised his hand.
Who does?
I think Adam raised his hand.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Adam.
yeah, I just want to speak on behalf of Jeff. I've been standing in here now for about a year. We're at the IUPAT, we're very committed to worker issues. Worker misclassification has been one of our most passionate, goals to rectify. We have a lot of similar aims, I think, and we align in a lot of ways with worker justice. And to see how the organization has grown, we're very happy with how things have progressed. I know Jeff wanted to be here to accept his nomination to the board. But I'm happy to be here to accept for him and stand in for him as his alternate. I think the work that Worker Justice does is very important when it comes to just workers' rights. A lot of workers get missed in the shuffle, and Worker Justice is there to help them, and we want to be there with them to help those workers. I think that's why we're here, because we believe in the labor movement. We believe in the worker justice, right? We believe that workers should have a voice in the workplace, and that's why we're here.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have further questions or comments?
Can I just comment one thing and then I'll let it be? Just everyone that is up here for, that's being nominated, there's a lot that you don't see. And that is, I know that Worker Center staff are meeting with Charity on a regular basis. There's recurring meetings. Adam has been at Worker Justice. I mean, the closeness with which we work with the painters, on a very regular basis. It's there all the time, there was a third person. Oh yeah, Steve. I see Steve in the hall all the time, and I think that there's really great potential. And I see a future where we're going to be working more and more closely with Smart 565. So just to say that it's not just a board position. These are people, organizations that we're working with, day in and day out, and with whom we could not do what we're doing. And that applies to so many more of you who are here in this call today. Without you and your organizations, this would not be possible. So that's it.
Thank you.
Well, at this point, I will call the question. All in favor of these current nominees for the board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Does anyone else have any other further business or comments before we adjourn?
I do. I would like to make a comment. After the presentation, the question was, do you have any questions? I don't have questions, but I want to say, all the staffs here, I want to say thank you on behalf of, as a board member. I think the work that you did last year was incredible. It looks good for next year. And again, this is an opportunity just to say thanks to all of you for the fine work you've done.
I would certainly join in that sentiment. Rebecca did a fine job of summarizing the work that we have done and are planning to do. And the rest of the staff, I think, is under good leadership and is working hard. And we look forward to expanding further in the next year.
If I could, also would like to say a thank you for the opportunity. I would like to thank you for the opportunity and the trust in me and the belief in me and our local to strengthen your organization and help it move forward.
I'd like to say thank you for everybody and the name the whole community. Thank you. We need everybody. Thank you for the support.
I also want to say how proud I am of the work that's been going on, even to see after I have left or stepped back in a different position in the organization, how much it's grown. As many of you know, there's some times where we were kind of like, when we were not quite sure. And I am just amazed. And to see even growth in Socorro and Rebecca, who are there with me. Sorry about that. And it's just, I'm so proud to be part of this organization. And to see the growth is just amazing, and what you guys can do. And to see this report makes me just so happy. And if I could give all you guys high fives, I would. it's and hugs. It's great. It really is. And excited for all the new people to work with you guys as well.
I just wanted to add many thanks to everyone here and also just for the opportunity to be part of this organization. The staff are truly amazing people, and I feel really privileged to have had the opportunity to work with them. And I hope to continue to support this organization and the work that they do in whatever ways I can after my time is up here. So I'm grateful for all the relationships I formed, and I hope to continue those. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be here in Madison, so so I hope to see you soon.
Well, excuse me, I'm Peter Bach, and I'm Justice and Witness Coordinator for the Wisconsin Council of Churches. And I just, after hearing about all the great work that Worker Justice Wisconsin's been doing over the year, I'm just so grateful that Wisconsin Worker Justice has become one of our ecumenical partners. And I'm really glad to know about the work that we've been doing together, and look forward to more.
Mhm.
Any other comments?
Yes, kudos to everybody.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you for your service. So at this point, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
Nice.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned, and thank you all for your attendance. And we'll look forward to seeing you all at the Faith Labor Breakfast.
Take care, everyone.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.